Greetings, Pilgrims, and welcome to another episode of the Polygon Pilgrimage. And today we are going to make your levels a lot safer. We've got security cameras. Now, I had a couple of requests for this, so I went ahead and built a security camera today for you. And I will provide this model with a version that does not have the Substance logo there on you. I just put that on there for you, for me anyway, because I was painting in Substance and I was like, I love it, so I'll put that on there. But you can put any logo you want on there. So there'll be room for that on the textures, and I'll provide the flattened textures and then the model itself. So let's go ahead and talk about how this works. So let's take a look, and as we play here, you'll see that the camera rotates to a 45 degree to the right, it rotates back to the center, and then it rotates 45 degrees to the left. And all the while, anything that it's seeing is being projected onto this plane here for you. Now you could take this plane and put it onto the output of a texture of a security monitor or something like that, and you'll see that it should, nope, I don't have it set up to loop yet, but that's okay. We can set it to loop nice and easily. So anyway, we're displaying what it sees here on this screen. So let's talk about how that works. So it's actually pretty easy. It seems hard at first, but it's really not. So first we have our model, and here's our model, and I've got an animation on it. If I go over here to animation, I call it security sweep, and it's quite long, and it will go from 0 to 510, and I need to set a loop frame and say apply. And under the rig, I've set it to legacy to make everything a little bit easier on me. All these settings are default, and then I just hit apply and bring it into the world. And now if I go to my security camera, here he is. I say play automatically, and I have to find out how to loop it. I forget how to loop it at the moment, but that's okay. So then anyway, now we have these bones, and we go down to the bones. This bone in particular, bone 003, is the one that is vertical along this shaft here that makes the rotation work. So to that bone, I have attached another camera object, and I've called it security camera as well. And on here, very simply, I just rotated it. It looks wrong here, but that's because I'm counteracting the rotation of the bone. So it will look sideways here, but it's actually correct here. Then, under here, this target texture, that's what we're going to come back to. This is really what's important. Is what I want it to show is this. And I turned on occlusion culling as well. Now, back in our assets, we're going to need to make two different things. One thing, we're going to have to make a material. So I made a material, and I made it of the unlit texture type so that it can actually accept a texture here. This texture here is actually a render texture. So if I right-click and say create, and down here it is, where it moved on me, render texture, there it is. So you just create one of those, and that's this guy here. And then I gave it some dimensions here. I gave it 1024 by 1024 because I really wanted it to have a lot of fidelity. I didn't want all the jaggedy edges. Then you go back to our camera footage here, and we just drag and drop this guy onto here, which I've already done. Now back to our security camera, as we talked about. Here in the security cam output, that's where we're going to put this this guy here. And then on our plane, what we want it to show, I put on the plane, again, an unlit texture. I'm going to give it this material. So the material that we created. So this thing is going to capture to here. It's going to put that to here. And then this material displays this in real time. And then we put this material on something that we can see. So now if we hit play again, let's take a look and we'll see it all in action. So we got this blue corner over here with a sphere. I just put a different object at every stage so you can tell that it's rotating. And then over here in the corner, the red corner, we have some pillars just so you can see that it's going on there. And it should return to center. And let me see if I set that loop up properly. If not, that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So we can set it up to loop. That's not hard to do. But I wanted to share with you the overall concept. It's actually pretty easy. So I will provide you guys with this particular model here. Now he is a wall mount like this. He's not corner mount, and he doesn't rotate downward, but I'm sure you guys could figure that out, or you can modify the model if you like. And here's the little room that we have. So we look over here, 45 degrees in the center here, straight across, and then 45 degrees over this way, and all from this one little security camera. Now you can create multiples of these. I would recommend numbering them, label things very properly, so that way you know which camera feed is going to which camera. And I have, we got screws and bolts on here holding it together. We've got some panel lines. It's a really nice camera, you know, I think for a quick little model to demonstrate the effect. And then, like I said, I will remove the logo here from the paint layers before I save it out. And that way you can put your own logos on here, anything you like. And then all you have to do is have a proper model here. So what I would do is, for say a security monitor, measure it all out, model it, and then separate the screen as a separate object. And then you can apply this material to that object. Or in your modeling package, if you have the object itself, like say this object, and then I just make this face in the middle that is going to be the screen. You know, if this was a monitor, not a camera here, you can put that on a separate texture. What's the word for it? Because I use 3ds Max, and I have material light layers, and then I have smoothing grooves. So I can put it on different material layer group, and say this is group 1 for the for the actual chassis, and then group 2 for the screen. And then when I bring it into Unity here, it gives me multiple materials all for one object. So that's another way to do that as well. I find that for people who are just getting into this and getting started, it's a lot easier just to make it a separate object, and just make it a separate object that is floating, quote unquote, but it's right where you need it to be. And then it looks like a monitor screen, and it is live. So if I had this running and I had the ability to run around the level and I had a character you could see, not like a first-person controller, but an actual character, then you'd be able to see it in the camera footage because it is live footage. So that's really cool. So this can be anywhere in your level. It's just like a real security camera. You can be anywhere else and you can actually see it, which is the whole point. So anyway, that's all from me for this week. I wanted to share this with you guys. I had a couple people ask about it, so I thought I would throw one together real quick for you guys. And again, I will put this up on the site, so you'll be able to download this model, and it has the animation already embedded into it. And then I will remove the logo here, so you can put any logo you want on there. But I wanted to give a shout out to Substance because I use them pretty exclusively for painting, and it's awesome. So they're keeping an eye on my levels here, keeping them nice and safe. So as always, guys, keep practicing, get better, and I'll see you next time as the pilgrimage continues.